Jim, what's this like to be in this basement surrounded by so many great memories?
Well, Scott, it was kind of a plan that my wife and I had that we have so much racing memorabilia, a lot of it hers, but in putting it together, it just kind of developed, this theme kind of developed. I have a lot of model cars that we display. She has a lot of memorabilia from her father. We have a lot of pictures of people that we know from racing. We have a lot of artwork that's related to racing. So we just kind of put it all together, and it works very well down here. We don't spend enough time down here, but the kids do, and so I think it's very enjoyable for them to see what our lives have been like over the past 57 years.
Given that we're a day away from Thanksgiving, what are you thankful for, Jim?
Scott, I'm really thankful for the fact that I have a fabulous family. I've got a great wife. I've been blessed in the profession I chose. I was blessed to have an uncle who didn't have any children except one daughter who died very young. And so he kind of devoted, I think, a lot of his life to me, inadvertently. I always thought we were just hanging out and practicing law together, but he taught me and gave me my interest in motorsports. He gave me my interest in jazz piano. He had a concert piano in his house that he could play. Couldn't read a note of music, but played naturally. And he gave me so much advice along with his partners, Charlie Sims and Ray Robinson, Dick Cardwell. They all taught me how to practice law. I mean, how to be involved with the courts, with the court staff, with people. Gifts you can't get back anymore, but you can be thankful that you got them at the time.
So take me back to when you were first starting out as an attorney to today. Could you have ever dreamed that you would have had the kind of career when you were just a young attorney?
Absolutely not. My uncle, he was a former judge in Speedway and was a lawyer. And so my dad wanted to be a lawyer. My dad went to law school for about a semester and then went back into the Army. And so my goal was just always to be a lawyer. And I was hoping that I could be a successful lawyer. And I could never imagine. I had wonderful partners, Denny Zahn, and people in our office as I was growing up, Jess Paul, Dick Cardwell, all those people contributed to the opportunity that I had.
So we know the clients that you have represented over the years because we've covered many of those cases, but there may be some people that don't know some of the celebrity clients. Would you tick them off for me and just give me at least,
I hate this, you know.
I know you do.
I hate this.
But maybe you could just tell me who of those rich and famous or the celebrities that people would know, who are those people that you've represented?
Well, you know, the problem with it is people who may have what the public deems to be a celebrity status, when they have a problem, they've reached out to a lawyer, whether it was going to be me or somebody else. There's some great lawyers in this community, not just that have represented some wonderful people, but kind of my first foray into any of that, I think, in a big-time way was when I was the local counsel for Mike Tyson. And that was followed pretty rapidly by the Malice in the Palace problem with my representation of Steve Jackson, Jamal Tinsley, and I've always kind of had, as you know, an interest in motorsports, so some of the motorsports people have had problems, and so I would represent them. And so it kind of, I think, grew from some of that, and those people just needed somebody to talk to that could help through their problem.
Right. Who were some of the motorsports people that you represented?
Oh, I like to say little Al and I have had a relationship. He's a wonderful young man and a great driver. I always admired him. I've represented a lot of people in the paddock that have had some, not necessarily under my specialty, but whether there's a contract issue or something else that they have. I've been happy to do work for the Andrettis. I've done some work for Mr. Penske in different matters, non-criminal matters, just silly little things that people have questions about, so I was happy to help.
Mm-hmm. So your book is called All Rise, My Life and Trials with the Famous, the Infamous, and the Misunderstood. So you've talked about the famous. Who would fall under the infamous?
Everybody else. And then the Esther group are the misunderstood. No, it was hard when Mark and I did this book. What a wonderful writer he is, and what a great guy. We sat down at our favorite steakhouse, St. Elmo's, to talk about the project. And the reason I picked him, not only because he was a great writer, but because he had an interest in motorsports. And it's kind of like talking a special language that he and I kind of talked. We'd been to races together. We've been to Putnamville. We've been to all kinds of races together. And so it was real easy to sit up and have a conversation. I think it was a little harder for him to understand what I did. And so he delved into, one of the traits that my uncle had was a series of scrapbooks that he kept from things in the 40s and 50s that he had been involved in. So I began doing that from the time I really started practicing. So I kept track of everything I kind of did in scrapbooks, and so I gave those to Mark and said, here, if you want to kind of know what I did, here's. And really the whole focus of these stories and books that we have done was for my children. We started out just with a project that would be, if something happened to me and I was gone, I wanted my kids to know what the heck I really did. And so that's why we did the book. And that's still the focus of the book. So when all the grandkids are here for Thanksgiving and the kids are here for Thanksgiving, I've got a book for each one, and that's why I did it.
What's the most important case that you've worked on in your career?
You know, the case that really kind of resonates with me a lot of times, because there's really no most important. The one I think that really I had the most emotional feeling was the Mary Winston murder case. Mary was the head of a janitorial company, got accused of organizing a killing of her husband. And when the jury acquitted her, Mary was so relieved. She'd been in jail the whole time. And we went to her house that night with her family and celebrated the acquittal with my wife and the rest of the family. And so that, I think, was the first kind of big emotional case that I had that really has stuck with me all these years.
Of course, most people associate you with Mike Tyson.
Correct.
Tell me about that case.
Mike and I hit it off right away. I don't know why, but we did. It was a difficult case because I was local counsel. I wasn't the trial counsel. But Mike and I just seemed to have a way of communicating with each other. I've just talked to him most recently. So we've always kind of stayed connected to each other. After the verdict came in, I was able to convince Billy Romerl, the head of the Marion County Sheriff's responsibility, to get him to the IYC. Billy let me ride in the car with him. And that's kind of where that term country boy came from. He said, country boy, I guess we're on the way to jail. And so I always was able to relate to him. I visited him regularly while he was at IYC. When he was out, I continued to help him. When we went to, he had a little incident in Maryland that I went out and helped him with. He came back on his one-man show when he and Spike Lee put together this program. Yeah. And so he and I, he called me and said, let's go to dinner. And so we met at St. Elmo's, a private room downstairs, his wife and I. And when he walked through the restaurant, of course, everybody knew who he was immediately. But he brought this furled up kind of canvas with him, which he gave to me. And I opened it up, and it was a sketching from the trial that was he and I together, and he had inscribed it to me, and I have it hanging in my office today. So,
nice.
Yeah.
The Malice in the Palace case, that catches a lot of people's attention. Everybody remembers where they were when that happened, and you were the attorney for Stephen Jackson.
I was. And another very nice human being. I like Steve a lot. The greatest story about Steve, we had been told that we were going to have a hearing in front of the commissioner's representative about being suspended from the NBA. So we flew, the group of the players, we flew to the hotel in New York, the Waldorf, where we stayed the night before. And I told Steve, I said, you know, we've got this hearing tomorrow, and it's going to be very important. I want you to, you know, take all the jewelry off. Let's be very conservative. We've got to appear in front of the commissioner. And he said, okay. He come down the next morning. He's got his canary yellow suit on. I said, I thought we had a talk last night. He said, this is my sincere suit, Jim. So, but Steve had a great sense of humor and was a great client.
Pat McAfee got into some trouble in Broad Ripple, and you were his attorney.
Well, I was. Another very interesting human being. Has been extremely successful now. And it was a little matter, and my appointment was, I was in the middle of a murder trial in New Jersey at the time when that happened, and so I had to have one of my partners cover the initial appearance. But Pat was, what always endeared me to Pat was when I first met him, he said, you know, the thing that's really going to be hard for me is I've probably really upset my mother. And so that told me a lot about Pat as a human being, that his first concern was that he would embarrass his family. And so he was easy to represent and a very good person.
Throughout your career, you've been handing out business cards to clients. Tell me a little bit about the business cards and what you had on them and why you had those printed.
Well, I found myself into situations where by the time I got to the client, the police had already talked to him. And I thought, you know, there ought to be a way that we could impress on clients that it's not always the best idea to talk to police first. It's better to talk to your lawyer first, police second, maybe, and news people never. So I created that card. The original card said "Stop talking," and I would hand it out to every client. And I can tell you a funny story about that. I had a lawyer friend. A guy came into his office one day, and he had a beautiful largemouth bass over his desk. And the client said to him, you know, I'm really, really interested. How'd you catch that fish? He said, you know how I caught him? He said, how? His mouth was open. So it gave me the kind of the impetus to say to my clients, hey, it might be a little better. And so now we moved into social media. I have stopped texting, stopped talking, stopped emailing, so that they can just stop any of that before they talk to somebody like me.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to talk to you about cameras in the courtroom. You talk in the book about your feelings about cameras in the courtroom. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, coincidentally, I was in the trial that the first cameras in the courtroom came up. It was 92, but we were trying the Marjorie Jackson murder case. Howard Willard was my client. Steve Backer was the prosecutor. Jim Kelly was the elected prosecutor. Jack Wilson was the trial judge. Henry Gonzalez, a really wonderful lawyer from Tampa, Florida, and I were co-counsel on that case. And Judge Wilson decided that it would be a good idea to have cameras come in the courtroom. So he opened up, and it's the same courtroom that Judge Gifford used in the Tyson case. And it also happened to be the same anteroom that the news media in Tyson were able to hook up and be in the basement. But Jack Wilson used that for the purpose of having cameras. So Channel 6, as I remember, was one of the first stations that came to cover that. And when they did, he let them come in the courtroom, and they were putting the cameras by our tables and all kinds of things that kind of aggravated me. And the cameraman and I had a conversation out in the lobby about it. But the next couple of days, when that was televised, Justice Given of our Supreme Court, he was the Chief Justice at the time, he saw it. And he issued an edict that said no cameras in the courtroom in all 92 counties. Boom, boom, that was it. And so that stayed in place till recently, when our Supreme Court now gave the trial judge the opportunity to permit media to come in if they want to, but it's up to the court, and they have to decide whether they want to do that or not.
How do you feel about it today?
Just like I did in 1992. I don't want them in there. I don't like them. But I just think it disrupts the process. To me, the trial process is a very orderly, quiet opportunity to try a case and give an individual the best opportunity to have his case heard. And I just think it's a distraction. I know people disagree with me all the time, but that's just how I feel about it. And I'd rather try a case with just the lawyers on the other side, the jury and the judge, and let's try the case.
There are some people that feel that full transparency is best, and I know you take on that argument in your book.
I do.
What's your feeling on the whole idea of how you combat the idea that full transparency is having cameras in the court?
Stop by and sit. It's a public courtroom. If you want to know what's happening, come down and join us. Have a seat. It's open every day to the people who want to come in and see it. And I think it creates an opportunity for then, let's assume at the end of your newscast you show 5 seconds or 10 seconds of what happened in the courtroom that day. Well, the case went on for 8 hours. And so you get only a little bit, and then we all become judgmental. You know, it's like if the guy misses a touchdown, well, he shouldn't have missed it because of this and this and this. And so I just think if you want to see the case, come down and watch it.
Yeah. When you look back on your career, is there a case that keeps you up at night or ever kept you up at night?
All of them.
All of them, too. Okay.
All of them.
So you lose sleep over all your cases?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I lose sleep over all of them, but you're constantly trying to make sure that you're prepared, that the client's prepared, the witnesses are prepared, and all those things keep you not necessarily up at night, but actively thinking about it.
Mm. So, and I know you don't like talking about yourself. I know you don't like it. I know you hate it.
That's why I don't talk to you normally.
But I think people will be interested. What makes Jim Voyles good and successful as a defense attorney? Is there a playbook, if you will? Is there something that you're doing that would be good for a young Jim Voyles to learn how to do?
In all honesty, Scott, I don't like talking about myself. And this city is full of fabulous lawyers. I mean, really, really good. I was president of the bar, and there's 5,000 lawyers about, and that took everybody in governmental jobs and everything else. Mm-hmm. And out of that group, there's a wonderful group of lawyers who work hard, who are diligently. I don't think there's a magic to anything. There was no playbook. It's just I was at the right place at the right time with the right mentors, and I just happened to like the practice of law and just tried to work hard at it. And I think that's it. I mean, there's nothing better than hard work. I mean, I don't mind going down on Saturday or Sunday if I have to. That's important for me. It's important to make sure that I feel comfortable with everything that I'm doing for the case, but there's no magic.
You're in your 80s right now?
I am, 83 in about 3 weeks.
Okay, coming up on 83, how many hours do you put in a day?
Well, Jones says too many. I'd say 12 to 14.
12 to 14 hours every day?
Yeah, pretty much.
Why aren't you retired and going to races around the world and traveling?
I do that anyway.
Okay. Okay.
But, you know, no, I've got great friends like Chip Ganassi in the racing community, and great Michael Andretti, and all people that AJ Foyt, and all these people that I've known over the years. And I try to hang out with them when I can. But the primary responsibility I have is downtown at my office. And so I try to go there as often as I can And I get up early, I go to bed kind of late, and so, and I'm doing other things besides just practicing law during that time.
Sure.
But, and I've got a wonderful group of partners that I practice with, so why change right now? I mean, I had some health scares back in the 17, and as a result of that, I took it a little easy, but now I'm kind of flat out still for some reason.
You're representing Alex Pillow. What can you tell me about his case?
Alex is a wonderful young man, tremendous driver, and a tremendous personality, exceptional for his age and the work that he has accomplished in motorsports. Yeah, a real pleasure. And he's a neighbor. He lives just right down the street, so I get a chance to see him.
And what can you tell me about the case that you're working on with him?
Nothing yet.
You also represent Mark Sanchez. What can you tell me about that case?
Zero.
Okay. Kind of figured you'd bring out the business card and tell me stop talking. I'm not going to be talking about that. Okay, and I expected that. Okay, so the best day possible, is it winning a case or is it sitting at the Indy 500 on race day?
That's a tough question. I think there's nothing better for a lawyer who practices criminal law than to enjoy an acquittal of a client who may have been falsely accused, improperly prosecuted, whatever the reason is that the jury determined that the evidence wasn't great. I think that's the best day that you could possibly have. If you wear the other part of my hat, where I'm a motorsports personality, then there is no better day than being in the Indy 500. Bill Simpson and I, Bill was probably the guru of the engineering and safety equipment guy. He used to have a suite in turn 2, and on race morning he would always call me and say, are you over in the chicken bone section? Because that's what he liked to call my seat that was in turn 1. And I said, yeah, and I'm going to stay here. He would invite me constantly to come over to the suite, but I did not want to go. I wanted to watch the race with my family. Joan and I have our seats we've had for years. Eat chicken and enjoy the race, because there's no better seat there.
You're like a kid on race day, aren't you?
Yeah,
You
kinda.
love the track.
I do.
What is it about it?
I don't know. I think that's everybody about that. You can ask Penske that. That's why he bought it. He loved it so much. First time I ever walked into it was 1953 when I saw my first race. We'd come down and we sat in the infield. And Roger has a similar story. I think he saw his first in 51, so we're pretty close. But yeah, it just has a magic about it that if you like motorsports, there's no place you want to be other than there on race day.
And your recall is amazing, not only in cases, judges, and clients, and things that were said, but also in racing. What do you remember about that first Indy 500 in 53?
It was hot. It was the hottest race in the history of the Speedway so far. It was about 130-degree temperature. Carl Scarborough died, a relief driver, in that race. There were half the field I think had relief drivers. They were too hot. Vukovic won that race, never had a relief driver. And there's a famous picture of him sitting on the workbench in the garage area where he looks just totally exhausted, covered with dirt and sweat. And somebody asked him something. He said, how could he possibly do that, run the whole race without having relief? And he said, you've never been on a tractor in Fresno in August. So he was able to relate it to some personal things in his life, and he was just a very determined guy.
How many races have you seen now at this point at the 500?
71.
You've seen 71 Indy 500s.
I have. I've only missed one. I missed 54. My dad had a relapse of malaria when we were living in Michigan City, and I missed that race. But I've seen every race, including the COVID race, because my pal Chip Ganassi insisted I come out. I wasn't going to go because nobody was going, but he said, you need to be here, and so I went.
So you've seen 71 Indianapolis 500 races.
I have.
What is your favorite?
Every one of them. No, the one that sticks out the most for me is Jimmy Clark's win in 1965. I loved that car. My friend Dario had an opportunity to drive it. That car went from winning the 500 to the Ford Museum in Dearborn, and it never was out since that day. And so I went to a Lotus Society event at the Speedway the night before the 500 when Dario drove that car for the first time. And we joined the Lotus Society, and as a kind of a gift they gave us, I have the oil in a little tumbler in a glass encase that came from that winning car. They drained all the oil and kept it. So I've got that upstairs in my library.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a pretty neat experience.
Yeah.
And you're not just an Indy 500 fan. You are really an auto racing fan. You've been all over the world, haven't you, seeing races?
I have. I've been blessed. I've seen Monaco Grand Prix. I've seen the Silverstone race at Silverstone. Just did that last fall. Been to Goodwood. Been to Le Mans 24-hour race 3 times. Been to the Daytona 24-hour race. Been to, I haven't missed much. I've been to Kitley, the little speedrome, see the figure eights. So, yeah.
Wow. So you really are a gearhead, if you will.
I am.
Your favorite driver, who would that be?
Hard. In the past, it would have been Jimmy Clark. Then I was enamored a great deal with Jimmy Bryan. And currently, there's so much talent, but Scott Dixon, Alex Palou, Chip's drivers, Kiffin Simpson, all of those people have special places in my heart as I've been able to watch them. You know, when I was a kid, I couldn't go to the garage area. I couldn't do a lot of things. My uncle helped where he would give me passes because he helped Mr. Holman start the United States Auto Club in 1955. And so I just, every time I go in the garage area, I kind of pinch myself, am I really supposed to be in here? And I get the opportunity to be in there, see people, be around people that I admire. You know, it's like being around great lawyers. And I've been around a lot of great lawyers throughout this country.
Right.
And every time you get a chance to be around them, it's kind of like, you know, as I was growing up as a kid, I'd like to have met Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle. I mean, people that I really admired as baseball players.
Right.
So.
Chip Ganassi wrote the foreword to your book and said, you are in the top 2 to 3% in his profession, the same way that athletes like Michael Jordan and Tom Brady and Mario Andretti and Scott Dixon in theirs. How does that make you feel to hear that?
I'm flattered that I would ever be in that kind of group of people. I don't see myself that way. I just see myself as a kind of a lawyer that works hard, tries to do his best. And you were right. I never felt I could be in a situation that I was anything but just a simple lawyer that I, you know, get up every day and try to do my best. That's just, I feel that way today. I felt that way all these 57 years.
You have any plans on retiring?
Nothing soon. Nothing soon. No.
Okay. Let me talk about the cars that you've got. Give us an idea of the cars and what is it about owning this collection that you just love?
You know, it happened by accident. It really did. The first car I ever really got of what I would call a real typical good sports car was the Porsche. I bought it from a friend of mine, and so I really, really liked it. And then I got into a position that I could buy another one, and then another one, and then pretty soon I've got 21 cars. I've got a lot of them here. I've got, I think, 16 here at the house, and then I have 2 warehouses that my friend Bill Simpson got me involved in out in Brownsburg, and I've got some out there, and a motorhome that we have. So Yeah, it just kind of happened by accident. And I bought cars that I really liked as a kid. I have two Jaguars that I really love. Our friends right down the street had the Bentley store. That became an attraction for me. And so that's just the way it worked. Yeah, suddenly.
Which is your favorite car?
Probably the car that I really think I admire more is the '56 Jaguar XK140, antique white, red interior, wire wheels, and it belonged to Steve Hughes that owned St. Elmo's. And I didn't know that at the time. It was in Auto Week for sale, and I picked up the magazine and I called the number. It was an 812 number, so I knew it was down in southern Indiana. And as soon as I did, the guy answered the phone. I said, "I'm interested in your car," because my uncle had one. And I always admired that car. And so he said, "Well, I'm getting ready to sell it." I said, "Don't sell it, I want to buy it." And he said, "Who is this?" I said, "Jim Voyles." He said, "This is Steve Hughes." I said, so I called my friend Judge Zori, and we drove down that day and bought it. I mean, and that's the car I really I think started my collection.
Do you still have the Ferrari?
I do.
You still enjoy driving that?
I do.
Fast?
I do. I've been to Maranello. I got a chance to go to the Ferrari factory and see how they're made.
Right.
And I know that you've done that, and it's a wonderful experience. It's unique. So yeah, I've just got a lot of great cars and cars I like.
You told me years ago that one of the things that you enjoy about driving these cars is a chance to sort of allow the day to get behind you in the rearview mirror, something like that.
That's true.
It kind of clears your mind, if you will. Do you
true.
still feel that way? I mean,
Absolutely.
do you still enjoy driving it? Because
I don't have as much time, it seems like, lately. I was in London for a month in that Alex Palou matter, and so it kind of cut through my summer. I've kind of made up my mind next year. I'm going to make sure that I takes more time with the cars. I think I've only driven 4 of them this year.
Wow.
And I got a lot sitting out there waiting.
Okay.
So
yeah. Let me wrap this by asking you about what you want your legacy to be, Jim.
It's really funny that you asked me that question. Joan and I were not morbid, but we have pre-planned our funeral. We went over and we paid for everything. We bought our headstones, and when we were talking about it, we put something on the back of one headstone. It said, "Lives well lived," and I think that's it. I've been lucky to be where I am. I've been lucky with the people I've been around. I've had fabulous staff. I mean, my one secretary, Nancy Potter, was with me 42 years. I mean, some people can't be with me 40 minutes. So, there you go. But I've been blessed with all the nice people that I've known and met and the people I've been around and have taken care of me.
I imagine you hear attorney jokes over your career. Have you heard of a funny joke about an attorney in your life?
None of them are funny. Okay. But I've heard a lot of them. Yeah, the guy that's got those kind calls me up is Ganassi. He's always got a lawyer joke he likes.
Really?
Yeah.
What's his favorite lawyer joke?
I'm trying to think of any. That maybe it's the old line that there's too many lawyers, you might as well kill them. But that's his favorite hobby, is to kind of make sure that he needles me periodically.
Right.
But we share jokes periodically with each other.
Yeah.
So. It's funny about Chip and I. We really don't talk a lot about racing. We talk a lot about everything else, and I think he put that in the foreword of the book.
Yeah.
That we talk about politics. We're different political parties. I'm the right side. He's the wrong side. But that's exactly what we talk about.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the media?
I have a lot of friends in the media, but we never talk.
I understand that.
Yeah. No, my daughter is a journalism major, and so I have always enjoyed them, but I've never felt that it was beneficial for me to suggest to the press, whether it's radio, television, newspapers about my case. Because you're asking me to divulge things or my feelings about things, and I think those are best left and said in the courtroom.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I've always been.
Yeah.
I haven't deviated from that very much.
Yeah. In the courtroom where we can't always get our cameras in, right?
Correct. Not a problem.
Thanks, my friend.
You're welcome.
Appreciate the time. That was fun.